What is up, all my kaiju friends and fans? This is Phil, the Kaiju King, from my collection room in Greater Cincinnati. And in this video, it's X Plus Metal Mayhem. I'm going to be talking about the baddest robot ever in kaiju history, Mechagodzilla, and all his renditions through the movies. Mechagodzilla is basically... I'm going to put him at number 2 in a tie with Ghidorah for my favorite adversary. Of course, Gigan is my favorite, especially the Showa Gigan. But Mechagodzilla is really a true badass character. Let's go with the original Mechagodzillas. Start off with, and that would be the 1974 and 1975 Mechagodzilla. We will do that right now. And here they are, people. Mechagodzilla 1974 and 1975 from X Plus 30 centimeter scale. The 74 is on a base, but they are really nicely done. I love both of these. This is my favorite Mechagodzilla too, by the way. It's far and away my favorite. But he really gave Godzilla a run for his money, especially in 74, the original. And he's always gave Godzilla a run for his money in all the films. The details on these, the whole series of X Plus Mechagodzillas, in my opinion, is very top notch. As far as the 74 goes, you can tell, you can see how he's brand new and everything's new on him, and the details are just all there, from his toes to the spikes in his knees, the folds in the joints of his suit. The finger missiles are all really nicely done. The chest plate opens up and exposes the laser there. His paint job is really nicely done, I think. It's all very, very well and nicely done. His head has, his arms do have articulation in them, and his hands as well, minor, but I think the 75 has more articulation than the 74. Or either that or he's just stiff and I'm afraid to move him around. But he also has some articulation in his mouth, a little bit, not much. But he's really nicely done. He looks all brand new. The tail's all nice. Details with the metal scaling and stuff. Now the 75, this is what's cool to me. Starting with the tail, you can tell that the 75 tail looks all worn and dirty and used, like he's been rode hard and put out wet, so to speak. But the 74 tail, it's all nice and clean and even. But then when you look at the 74 tail, or the 75, pardon me, 75 tail, he has some dings and blemishes in the metal and some dirty texture on it, and it's just, it screams that he's been through a battle, which was what he had been through with Godzilla the year before. So, and then as far as the side of the suit, you can see wrinkles and deformities in the metal, and some dark patches on here from, I'm guessing that's from where he blew up in 74, and dark patches around the knees and everything, and everywhere in the metal. And it's not on the 74, but everywhere in the metal on the 75 there's deformities and dings and dents, and just, it's really, really nicely done how they did it. On both, all over the suit, you can see that there's deformities. I mean, even in the back plates, there's deformities, and on the 74, they're pretty much smooth. So I like how they did that. They made it look like it has some battle-worn issues from previous fight with Godzilla. And then, like I said, he does have some good articulation in his arms and stuff, and articulation. My 75, his head's kind of loose in my opinion. He has articulation in the mouth. It's really, compared to this 74, it's super loose. But like I said, that's the impressive thing to me about this 75 is it shows the wear and tear on the suit compared to the 74, which looks brand new. That's just my opinion, but that's how I feel about it. But I love these two, and they look cool together, and they're really nice. And like I said, Mechagodzilla gave Godzilla a good fight, and every single time he showed up. So we'll go on now to the second rendition of Mechagodzilla, and that's from the Heisei era, and we'll do that right now. Alright everybody, I'm back, and here is the second rendition of Mechagodzilla from the Godzilla franchise. This is the Heisei Mechagodzilla from the 1993 film Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. And I have both the standard and the Super Mechagodzilla edition. The major differences, in my opinion, is they do have articulation in the arms. They have articulation in the hands, both of them. I don't think there's articulation. Yeah, there's a little bit of articulation in the head and in the mouth for both. But the biggest difference between these two, of course, is on Super Mechagodzilla, is in his belly. We have the laser, the firing weapon here. And then, of course, the cannons coming off of the pack on his back, the big cannons on either side of his head. And then of course on his back is Ghidorah, the ship that basically Mechagodzilla replaced this ship in the film. So, and I just love the way they did that in the movie, where they combined the two and made Super Mechagodzilla. It was really cool. But these two are very faithful to the movie, to the suit in the movie, and they are very highly detailed. And I would say this is my second favorite Mechagodzilla, probably. But it's far and behind Showa. That's just my feeling on it. But these are really nice and awesome done sculpts by X Plus. I'll move forward to the final rendition of Mechagodzilla in the Godzilla films, and that would be the Millennium edition, and we'll do that right now. Alright everybody, I'm back, and I've got, well, his name in the movies is Kiryu in the Millennium series, 2002 and 2003, but I still call it Mechagodzilla. I don't know. It's Mechagodzilla. I know it's called Kiryu in the films, but it's still Mechagodzilla to me. So I've got these three versions: the standard 2002, the nighttime battle pack 2002, and the 2003 with the blue pack. That's the three I have. They're pretty much all identical. They all have articulation in the arms. Every one of them does have articulation. The big differences on these three, in my opinion. By the way, these are very accurate to the movie in my eyes. I've watched the movies many times, and these are really, really, really dead on to the movie. So I would highly recommend these. The big differences, of course, are the packs on the two Kiryus or Mechagodzillas. First off, the blue pack, he has the blue lasers on either arm, laser cannons. And then, of course, he has on his back the big pack with the big guns right here on either side of his head. And as far as the nighttime one, same deal. Laser guns on either arm. And then of course on his back is the backpack with the big guns here on either side of his head. And that's barely the only differences in these three figures are the packs on the two special edition ones here. Other than that, they are all the exact same. They're really cool and nicely done. Like I said, the details on these are really, really, really top notch. Can't be beat. I mean, the X Plus is known for their details, and they did a very masterful job on all three of these Mechagodzillas from the Millennium era / Kiryu. I will go to some closing comments, and we'll do that right away. Alright, I'm back. My closing comments is the whole X Plus Mechagodzilla collection is really good. They're really, really, really detailed. I highly recommend them to any collector. They're great. The details are off the hook on them. I would like to thank everyone for tuning in. I'll go to a closeout on my video here. This is Phil, the Kaiju King, from my collection room in Greater Cincinnati. And you all have a wonderful, wonderful day.